Okay, so it's time to pick our unleashed team of the season. Robbie, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, so we're starting a loose head. Should we start
Yeah,
in the front row,
start
up
there.
front? Right. So, a guy I think deserves an enormous amount of credit after the way he's fought back from that red card in the Premiership final. I'd go for Beno Abano at loose head, who has played all but two games for Bath this season, has been an absolute rock there, unbelievably reliable. I'd throw his name right in the ring.
I'd say it's pretty hard to argue with that. Okay, so we've got Hooker next. I'm going to jump right in and say Luke Cowan-Dickie.
Yes. Yeah. It's hard to see too far past him, isn't it? Jamie George, I think, also excellent. The two kind of traditional England hookers. But Karen Dickey's really got back to his best this season. At tight head, then, I think we're looking at another Bath player. I think we're looking at Thomas Dutoy, who is one of the best scrummagers in the world and was utterly brilliant whenever he's been in that number three shirt for Bath.
Those Dan Sheehan level try scoring numbers as well. You just can't argue with that.
Yeah. You can't ask for any more. The complete prop.
Moving into the second row, it's been an amazing year for him. I've got to go for Maro Itoje.
Yeah, no, almost the first name on the team sheet. Even though he missed big chunks of the season with England, whenever he's back in that Saracens shirt, he is absolutely phenomenal. He gives everything, he does everything. You can't ask for any more. Now, a bit of an outside shout, but I think in a really struggling Exeter team, Dav Jenkins has been superb. I think him and Richard Capstick's stats are phenomenal. They're absolutely through the roof, both of them. The amount of work that Jenkins has got through in a really struggling team, the fact their line out has been about the one thing that's gone well for them, which he's been calling this season, something he's really worked on in his game. Though, again, I can be very easily talked around if you've got someone else.
Look, the fact that he had to do that for Exeter all season and for Wales in the Six Nations, and that he managed to
Yeah,
stand out in both teams is super
yeah.
impressive. I would throw Van Ryan's name in there for sale. I think he's
Oh,
been
yeah,
amazing
okay.
as well,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm more than happy to go with Jenkins.
No, I know. I'm happy to shift over to you. No, Van has been excellent.
Moving on to six. This one
Hmm.
is tough because I had a few names in the frame. In the end, I've gone for Ted Hill because he's Superman. He's just been amazing for Bath all
Yeah,
season. But I feel terrible for Juan Martin Gonzalez and Jack Kenningham, who I both think both have been amazing as
yeah.
well.
No, I had Kenningham up there. I had Fitzharding as well for
Yeah,
Bristol. Has
yeah.
got through an unbelievable amount of work. I would have just gone for maybe just about Kenningham, but actually, I'd sort of forgotten Ted Hill because he's been brilliant. Looking at number seven, then. This is another unbelievably competitive position. I think there's a big argument that you jump about and you put one of those others in. I'd be tempted to argue, do we put Jack Kenningham in at number seven? You have Will Evans as well. Do you move a number eight across? You've got so many options available. Who would you be going for?
I don't know. I had a long list. I had Curry, I
Hmm.
had Harding,
Yeah.
who I
Which
tried to move
Curry?
across.
Both
You
Currys could go
both
in.
both could go
Yeah.
in easily. Like I think Tom's been vintage this season, but Ben's been amazing as well.
Yeah.
This one's really super tight.
I almost feel like Tom Curry was maybe England's player of the championship in the Six Nations, but Ben Curry might be Sale's standout this year. And I'd maybe look at Ben Curry as the guy here.
I'll go with that.
Number eight, then. This is another another really tough one. I think you've got a handful of contenders. Again, a few of the back rows we mentioned already can play at number eight, have played there. I think Tom Willis is the leading contender, but can I throw out a name?
Go for it.
Callum Chick for
Yes.
Newcastle,
Yes.
who week in, week out has played every single game for them, has played 80 minutes in all but two. He is an absolute sensation, tragically leaving them next year, and he's going to leave such boots behind to fill because he's been brilliant. However, Tom Willis, likewise, has been great for Saracens, scoring 50-meter tries as well as just clocking up those hard yards time after time.
Yeah, completely agree. If Willis hadn't have been so good, I'd be so tempted to give it to Czech, but I
Yeah.
just don't think you can deny the performances because it's like it's his offloading game, it's his running game, it's he can just do everything.
Yeah. Tom Willis comes in at number eight then.
At nine, for me, this is a relatively easy one. Thomas Williams, one of my picks for player of the season. I think you have to
Yeah.
give a shout out to Ben Spencer as well, who's been brilliant for Bath, but Thomas Williams has just been a joy to watch conducting that Gloucester attack.
The way that he can both play as a brilliant world-class scrum half, but also whenever he gets the ball in those wider channels, whenever he's, forced to make a decision as a kind of outfield player, he is so good. He's so electric. I think it's nailed on Thomas Williams. Moving on to fly half then. This is a very, very open position. You've obviously got the two Smiths, Marcus and Finn, who have been great for England, had some mixed results in the Premiership, but both had consistently good performances.
Another player who's so good all the time that we almost seem to forget him in these conversations as well is Russell.
Of course, it's Finn Russell, an absolute magician, can do things no one else can. The centres, then, I think this is a very, very open position. You've got a lot of players who have been very, very solid, but I think fewer who've been outstanding and irresistible, right? You're looking at players who are quietly their players' player of the year rather than a supporters' player of the year, to put it that way. Rory Hutchinson, Fraser Dingwall, excellent for
Yeah.
Northampton, incredibly robust. You can actually go through pretty much every team and pull out two centres that are doing a fantastic job. And I almost began to do that, but we have limited time.
My long list for this was literally 20 names. I did exactly the
Yeah,
same thing. Um,
yeah,
where I got to was Atkinson and Ravuvu.
I can absolutely go with that. Ravovo, I think, yeah, I'd be looking at certainly on a 13 shirt. And then you make a very, very compelling case. Atkinson's been brilliant all season.
So left wing, I think it comes down to two guys ultimately.
Mm,
I'm more than happy to take extra names from you, but I've got
mm.
Ibitoy and Wade.
Yeah, I've got Ibitoye and Wade. I think they've both been absolutely excellent. Ibitoye's try scoring rate absurd. Christian Wade has come back and instantly got back into the same kind of try scoring form that put him so far up that all-time try scoring list. It's got Chris Ashton looking very, very nervous, even with, only a handful of games before he goes to try rugby league. Um, I would be very compelled by Wade, even if I think Ibitoye is probably on balance, maybe the stronger case.
I could go either way. I think because of the story, for the comeback and
Mm.
the fact that he's leaving after 1 year, we can go with Wade.
Yeah. All right. On the other wing, then, I think again they're two real standout names. You've got Ollie Hassel-Collins, the top try scorer in the regular season, who has been phenomenal. Quietly just gone about his business, finished incredibly well. And after dropping out the England fold, I think there's a lot of players who probably would have maybe let things go a bit, but instead he's really fought and he's really scrapped and he's been so good for Leicester. And Tom Roebuck at Sale, who I love watching, so good in the air, so good at finishing tries, and works so well with the halfbacks he's got with, likes of Rafi Work, likes of George Ford, in a team that kicks more than anyone else in the Premiership. He is a critical part of that in that he leads their chase as well as finishes their chances.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of them are like, if you wanted to make a test match winger in a lab,
Yeah,
both of these guys is the sort of person that would come out of it. I think
yeah,
it's a coin flip. You could go on a technicality. You could say Hassel Collins has more tries up until now, so we'll give it to him.
yeah.
But I think
Okay.
either of them would deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. But then I'd also throw Tom Rowett's played a limited amount of fullback, but I'd throw his name in the ring there. Have you got anyone else that stands out at fullback?
I had Santi Carreras down as a fullback. And
Yeah,
I think if
fair
you
enough.
have him as a 15, I think he's up there. Carpenter as well at Sale has been another
Yes.
quiet high performer all season long. I had Carreras, but I could definitely, if we want to squeeze Roebuck into the team, I could definitely be convinced.
No, I'll go Carreras. I'll go Carreras. I like that shout a lot.
Okay, well, that is our Unleashed 15 for the 2025 season. Squidge, thanks so much. Until next time.
It's an absolute pleasure. Until next time.